So I'm going to say Disney is not pushing this thing out. Like everyone knows Doomsday is coming out at the end of this year. Everyone knows Avengers Doomsday is coming out. Nobody even knew this was even a movie that's coming out in May. So I'm a little nervous, but it's cool. They're releasing some of the toys, releasing some of the merch. We got a really great poster that was released last week. And the trailer itself looks fantastic. A buddy of mine, he watched it and he said it kind of reminds him of the original trilogy. Watching the trailer kind of made him think about that. So I was like, that's actually pretty cool. And the footage we saw back in the day was, you know, this was just crazy to think we saw that whole sequence in the AT-AT back in April. So a full year before anyone else got to see it. And it was really, really great. It was a really, really good, exciting, you know, sequence. And so it's like, man, I don't know. I want more going forward from Disney right now. Like, I want each week they need to be releasing something Star Wars related. I mean, what do you think?
I can understand them trying to save money with the marketing and everything. With that Super Bowl commercial with the Tauntauns and the Budweiser homage they did. I think everyone's kind of in universal agreement that that wasn't really the way to go, what we wanted. It was cool to see and everything. I mean, for old heads like me, we get the joke, the whole Clydesdales thing. That's the whole tradition of the Super Bowl, Budweiser and all that. But it's like, who was in charge of that? I mean, was it Favreau? Did Favreau just supersede and override everything and said, we're doing this?
I have a feeling.
Yeah, let's do that.
It was Favreau, Filoni. They had no say over this. Like, I think this was the marketing team, Lucasfilm and Disney were like, this is what we're gonna do. That's what I think.
Because it was directed by Favreau.
Oh, it was directed by Favreau.
Yes, and it's something that's not in the movie at all.
Well, yeah.
They're gonna be in like the snow environment. Maybe it's Hoth. Maybe it's Ilum. Who knows what it is? But yeah, it was a giant misstep, I think, not to show us like footage, like never before seen footage. It would have been cool if it would have been never before seen footage, and then we got the trailer last week, and that was never before seen footage.
They would never do that, like ever. Like, it's
why not?
Because they've never done it before, and then it just seems.
But have they ever done what they're doing now before? I think the answer is no. I think this is the least marketing blitz they've ever done, because when you look at Solo, they had like Denny's commercials and Denny's tie-ins for Solo.
I remember you bought me.
The cards were cool, man. I really love the cards.
Therm Scissor Punch. I remember you got me that
off the bat. My first pack, yeah.
That card somewhere around here, which I'm still so glad that you gave that to me. But
I gave you one. I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah. It was back in 2018. Where were you guys? Sorry, we were a little busy. And then talking about the lackluster. Yeah, we're talking about the lackluster Super Bowl commercial that Disney thought was a good idea, which it was universally accepted that this was not a good idea from Lucasfilm, or Disney, I should say, to release this thing. But the trailer did give hope to the project. The trailer did show like a lot of people who watched it were like, this is really good. This is exciting. This doesn't feel like a Disney Plus show. This does feel like a movie. That was like kind of the consensus I saw online, that this does feel like a feature film and not just a show. But it's like, okay, cool. You gave us a great trailer. Now give us more. We need more promo stuff. We need to start seeing t-shirts out in the wild. We need to start seeing posters. We need to start seeing, character posters out there. And I have a feeling we're not going to get any of that. We're not getting any of that until like May, like the week before the movie comes out is when we're going to start getting a bunch of stuff. It makes me sad thinking that they're not going to promote it until right before the movie comes out.
We're back to the whole mystery box thing.
which is like, why? Stop. Look what Sean Levy's did with Starfighter. He told us Tom Cruise is on set and helped direct an underwater lightsaber fight, and everybody was just like, wait, there's a lot of things in that sentence we need to like, we need to break down. One, Tom Cruise was there. Two, he helped film something, which is insane. And three, an underwater lights. All of that was so well done by the director to tell everybody, hey, this is what we're doing. We're not going to tell you the context. We're not going to tell you who's in it, but just know you're going to see things you've never seen before on a Star Wars project. And that got everyone excited. Mind you, that movie doesn't come out until next year. You know what I mean? Like, we know more about that project than we do about Mando and Grogu because this whole mystery box approach they're still doing with these movies. Somebody on here called Tiger Lily 67421 says, weird they were holding that trailer in their pocket like they're waiting for us to complain to release it. It's weird. It's almost like they're hoping Grogu is going to sell this thing, like putting Grogu on the poster, putting Grogu's name. They're like, that alone's going to make sure we make a lot of money. And it's like, I don't know. It's been a long time since we've seen Grogu, and I really want them to push this movie more. Hold on, we got the greatest comment here. I like turtles. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. How much money do you think this movie needs to clear to be considered a success? Because I'm worried. I think it needs to clear at least $800 million before they can say it was a success. As we know, what was it? Solo did make, what was it, like 600 or 500 million? Like, it did make its budget back and then a profit, but it was nowhere near what Force Awakens and Last Jedi had just done, which is why they considered it a failure. But yeah, it's really strange that Disney's not pushing this thing more. And like I said, I think they're hoping Grogu is going to sell this thing. Did you see that bit? They released a video of the words Baby Yoda, and then he walks over and like messes with the words, and then it says Grogu. Grogu steps up there and makes the word Grogu.
Yeah, I think that was the first time that Lucasfilm acknowledged the Baby Yoda moniker there.
Yeah, and it was almost like somebody at Lucasfilm said, I still don't think people know who Grogu is. Like, I still think people do not know that is his actual name. So we need to tell people that that's his name. And I think that was a funny bit that Lucasfilm did, was to acknowledge, okay, by the way, everybody, his name is not Baby Yoda. All right. The movie's about him and Mando. Because the general masses don't even know who he is. I mean, a lot of people just kind of saw the show, and then, like I said, I've famously said, when Luke showed up at the end of season 2, people were like, oh, where's this in the timeline? I'm like, how did you watch this whole thing and not realize where in the timeline you were this whole time?
Like Elijah would said, how would we know?
I mean, us crazies would know. I mean, we knew when this was, like, because there's a lot of context clues that us crazies that kept up with, saying, oh, this is here, this is here, this is here. But the general,
do you think it's that thing where they say, oh, the audiences are way more sophisticated now and they'll figure it out? Because I think that's like the worst approach, because you got to tell people what timeline you're in.
Agreed. With Star Wars,
so you get them in the headspace and not mistake like Jyn Erso for Rey or Rey's mom or something, you know?
Yes, I agree. And there are still people to this day who I've talked to who say, like, I'm still so confused by the prequels and the sequel. Like, what? I don't understand it. I'm like, how do you not understand? Like, for me, it makes total sense, but for a lot of people, they have no idea what any of that means. And it is kind of strange. It is a little weird that Disney hasn't addressed that. George Lucas, of course, was famous. I mean, mind you, George Lucas was like, all right, this is episode 1. That's all you need to know. Like, we're going back in time to tell this story. And then with Clone Wars, Rebels, then you got The Acolyte, then you got Skeleton Crew, Mando, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka. There's a lot of different things going on. And Andor, you know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like Lucasfilm didn't really do a good job of telling people this is where we are exactly. Like, this is the timeline we are following.
It's almost like Lucasfilm is a bit of like the Jedi Order, kind of arrogant and kind of brash and like, oh, people will get it. It's Star Wars.
I honestly, I think it's another corporation that's kind of saying that, not Lucasfilm. I think this other corporation's the one saying, "Oh, people are gonna get this." No, no problem. But it is a little weird that they're not explaining these things, and then of course we all had that discussion a while back. Whereas where does Ahsoka season 2 line up? Is Mando and Grogu gonna be within that timeline? Is it gonna be the same thing, or are they just gonna not acknowledge? You know what I mean? There's a lot going on in Star Wars in the story that I don't think they're gonna acknowledge, and it's a little. It's a little upsetting. What?
Yeah, you're making me think about that, and I'm like, well, because now Filoni's like the head guy. Does that change anything? I mean, now he's like in those meetings where it's like, well, what's the future of Star Wars? What's the roadmap? How are we going to do this? Dave, what's up with your Ahsoka stuff? What's up with your movie? If Mando Grogu doesn't perform well, do we scrap all that and just do like Ryan Gosling big star films now, or what do we do? I mean, they got to figure all that out.
That is wild to think that if Mando and Grogu does not work, this entire timeline stops. You know what I mean? Ahsoka season 2 comes out and then they tell him, hey, you need to end it here. We need to get to Force Awakens at the end of Ahsoka season 2. That's it.
Speaking of confusion, a lot of people think that this movie is Mando season 4. It's not. Mando and Grogu are not season 4 of the TV show. It's a movie. Season 4 has been written by Jon Favreau. He's confirmed that he's written the whole thing, so it's ready to go. So if this doesn't perform, that might be scrapped, and they might just pivot to something else.
That's why I never even thought about that could be a thing that happens. Is they say, okay, season 4 is not happening.
It's also not fair because it's been 7 years since 2019 when the Mandalorian premiered.
Yeah.
So those kids that were 7, they're now 14. They're preteens. They don't care about Baby Yoda anymore. They don't care about Grogu anymore. So it's like you're gonna have to reintroduce it to a whole new audience, and that's where we're at right now. So it's a little bit unfair to Jon Favreau and kind of what they established.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, we got somebody in the. Let me see if he's. Are you good? You good to go? Is he good to go?
He's not looking at us.
Oh, there he is.
No.
Now. Hey, how you doing, Greg?
It's been a long day.
I can imagine. What's your shirt?
It's some vintage figures.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
A heroes one and a villains one. Pretty cool, right?
What's your favorite? Which one's your favorite?
Probably the hero one. It's pretty cool. I'll wear it for you with some matching socks.
Just me. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And only the matching socks.
Thank you, Craig. We are discussing a really crazy thing that David just brought up, which is he had this thought. If Mando and Grogu, the movie, does not do good, does Disney scrap everything else in the timeline? Do they say Skeleton Crew season 2 done? Mandalorian
happening?
4?
Well, we
don't
talk about that.
Crew is happening.
We've been seeing a lot of reports that maybe this thing's going to be going into production, but we'll say for the sake of this conversation, it will. Like it will go. It was a part of the whole overall plan for this timeline. So if this movie doesn't do good, could we see Mando season 4 completely done, Skeleton Crew season 2 done, and then Disney telling Filoni, okay, you need to rewrite the ending of Ahsoka season 2 because that's where we're ending this plot, and then Ahsoka season 2 needs to lead into The Force Awakens, and then that's it. Do you think Disney could do that if Mando and Grogu doesn't perform good?
Anything is possible. I think the movie would have to do really badly for it to tank like that. I think they're gonna. I mean, Filoni's in charge now, at least of Lucasfilm. I mean, I know he's obviously got to answer to the higher ups, but I think if you're going to have faith in Filoni and make him the head of Lucasfilm, you can't just take away all these things that he's been working on for years. That would not look
That's
good.
true.
We're going to put you in charge, and then we're going to not go with any of these projects and characters that you've been working on for 20 years.
I don't know. They've done weirder things. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, we just found out this last week from Vanity Fair that Steven Soderbergh said that they never even discussed budget of the Hunt for Ben Solo. Like, the discussion didn't even go that far.
Right.
Somebody
just didn't
higher up,
Yeah.
they said, nope, we're not doing this. And then it was like, don't you want to hear like the pitch? And they were like, nope. And that to me is insane that they didn't
How
even
high? You know, yeah. How high did it go? Like,
It went to
obviously,
Oscar.
Kathleen Kennedy said she loved it, right? So
Filoni
who's
said he
above-
loved it. You know, like everyone at Lucasfilm said, hey, this is gonna work. Like this is good. This could be something really good. It got up to the higher ups at Disney, and they were like, he's already dead, isn't he? We're not. And then they didn't even discuss it anymore.
I
And
mean, it would. I mean, it is weird. How would he live?
if they had a way to make it work, and then you have Filoni, Kennedy, and others at Lucasfilm saying this can work, they figured it out. You know what I mean? Like they had it. So, and have you seen that clip of Oscar Isaac on the red carpet where they asked him? Like, have you heard
I
about
did see it? I
Yeah.
forgot
Yeah,
what
he
happened.
got really like tied up in the neck. He was like,
how-
what?
how-
Oh, my plane
how-
is here.
He's like,
My gate.
how
I gotta get to my gate.
this question, and he goes, oh, my plane, I gotta go. And he ran off, but you can look at his face. He's just looking at them like don't ask me this question right now. He knew, you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure Adam Driver probably spoke to the others and said, hey, there's a way we can probably make another movie with all of us and it's gonna work. And I already have a script and it's exciting. And they were probably like, this is gonna be cool.
It's
So
probably
I
has
say all
something to
that-
do with the forced dyad situation, and like we've never seen that before, and that's maybe how
Yeah.
they can pull him back somehow. I don't know. But I mean, it's Adam Driver, it's Steven
I don't know.
Soderbergh.
I like Adam Driver, and I think he's a good actor, and he was good in the movies. But I didn't really care too much about the characters or any of those characters, so I could really care less if they. And maybe that was the sentiment. Rise of Skywalker didn't get really reviewed well. Many people don't like Last Jedi, so maybe they just wanted to get away from the sequel trilogy.
But here's the crazy thing: those movies made so much money. Like everyone says, Rise of Skywalker, Last
All
Jedi,
made over $1 billion, right?
they all made over $1 billion. Which,
I mean,
and we
you
all just
could
saw this
have-
last year. Lilo and Stitch made almost $1 billion, and they're like, "Yeah, we're doing a second." They don't care. They look at the numbers. And they go, "Yeah, that's what we're gonna make. We're gonna make more movies."
But Lilo and Stitch doesn't have 5,000 YouTube channels with people screaming their heads off. You
Google
know?
it. How many channels is
I
does
mean,
Lilo and Stitch
Lilo and Stitch is part of like the greater whole of like Bluey and all that other stuff that's out there that kids just
But I'm
watch.
saying there's not like so much negativity towards it. Is my point.
I don't know. I you know what? I should have created a anti Lilo and Stitch podcast.
Yeah,
after
but
I
the thing about that, Craig, though, is the negative people out there still watch and buy. So I mean, it's
I'm
that.
sorry,
situation.
what? There's what? People.
all the negative people out there on like YouTube and like that say stuff, they're still gonna go see it. They're still gonna give their money to Star Wars. So it's like,
just like the person who went and bought a bunch of Rose Tico action figures and then burned them all. Everybody was like, "Yeah, but you still bought
yeah,
thousands upon thousands of dollars of those toys just to burn." So Lucasfilm is
Maybe
kind
they
of like,
returned them like that.
extremely
terrible.
flammable.
which was really upsetting when I saw that, by the way. But anyways, and David, you did say something which was like, okay, so they just completely do away with the Filoniverse timeline and just say, okay, we got Starfighter coming out. Simon Kinberg is writing his trilogy. Let's just focus on that. Let's just put everything towards that and put everything towards making movies with huge stars now. And that's wild to think about that they do that shift.
I don't think they're doing that. Look, the thing is that Filoni is behind all of these projects, and they just promoted him. It doesn't make any sense to say we're going to promote you, but now we're not going to let you do all these projects that you've been working on. That'd be crazy.
It would be crazy.
Mandalorian and Grogu.
I don't think it'd be that crazy, Craig.
Tank.
I mean, they're going to go where the money is, and if Mando Grogu fails,
are they?
Yes.
If it's under 500 million, they're going to be like, nah, this people ain't feeling this. We gotta put all our eggs in the Starfighter basket, and then if that fails, it's like, what do they jump to next? You know,
if Mandalorian and Grogu, let's just say, is an 8 out of 10, it's gonna crush. If it is a good movie, solid. So you say to your friend, "Oh, dude, you got to see it." I know the sequel trilogy stunk, but you got to go see it.
Was Solo an 8 out of 10?
No.
What was Solo?
No.
Maybe a low 7.
I thought it was an 8 out of 10.
I would think it would be an 8 out of 10.
That movie was amazing.
No way.
Yeah.
And you know what? Okay, no way is it an 8 out of 10. You guys are crazy.
I know. No, you're crazy. You're crazy for not being on that.
You got to be careful with the Pascal overload there.
Which actor called that out and was like, I forget which, some actor was like, he goes, everyone loved Pedro Pascal. And Hollywood was like,
okay, everything.
You like him? Let's put him in. Let's and then everyone's like, no, why are you gonna keep putting him in everything? It's like, because you liked him. Like that's why we're gonna keep putting him in everything.
Yeah.
And now it's all over.
You know what? You know what I think would have made Solo a lot better. One minor thing: if you had Harrison Ford narrate at least throughout certain parts of the movie, that it would have blended it together.
Man, could you imagine them saying, hey, Harrison Ford, we know you've been trying to get out of this thing since Empire Strikes Back. Do you think you can come back and narrate the movie that you're not the star of?
We know you've been asking to die since 1980.
You don't need, he
would you mind coming back?
It would take him like 3 days worth of work.
But it's not even
the whole
that.
movie.
No.
Yeah. A flashback, the beginning, maybe a couple scenes here and there, and then maybe at the end. It makes a huge difference. I'm sorry, I can't see that guy and see Han Solo. The ages are too close together.
You're crazy.
I'm just not kidding. Crazy. But you guys are crazy. If you think I'm crazy, look at the fan response. They agree with me. People hated Solo so much. What was it, after Last Jedi or before?
It was after Last Jedi.
Yeah, so
there's a big campaign to get Solo 2 happen.
And man, like, I don't know, when that movie started, I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And then it kept going, and I was like, this is exciting. Like, this is a Star Wars story that I didn't think I'd ever see. And it's a heist, it's, he's doing all these things. And then of course we get the Falcon for the first time. It was so cool, man. I love that movie. But I'm not going to lie, hearing Harrison Ford narrating it, I think would have been weird because we're not used to a narration in Star Wars. We've never gotten that before. And then you're going to just throw that in there. I think people would be a little weirded out by that.
I think it's less weird than recasting the main actor.
You can't. What were you going to do? Digitally de-age
Well, there
him?
is an actor that actually looks like young Harrison Ford that was cast in that one.
Anthony
Gruber.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, Anthony Gruber. Yeah, and he can sound like him too.
Yeah, it's the guy in The Age of Adeline, right? The one who played like the younger version of him, which seemed like a no-brainer to get him to be in this movie. But what's interesting was Taron Egerton was like the second to last person auditioning for that role, and he said toward the end he realized that they were really wanting Alden Ehrenreich, and he said, "All right, I'm good." And he kind of like stepped away from the audition. But
To me, his age was supposed to be too close to A New Hope. You don't look that different, sound that different.
Well, unfortunately, it didn't make a lot of money, and there was a pretty big push there for a while to make Solo 2 happen, but I think it's already been enough, way too long for that to even be a thing anymore. We're almost coming up, in a couple of years, we're going to be 10 years from Solo, which is ridiculous. So yeah, it's I think it's a shame we didn't get anything more of that. But going back to Mando and Grogu, what David said, I think, is accurate. If this doesn't make over 500 million, it's going to be really strange what happens after that.
It will,
because as much as I agree with you, Craig, that there's no way they would do that to Filoni, I'm a little worried they would do that to Filoni and say, okay, this is all done. Let's get a new timeline. Let's focus on Starfighter and let's build something from that. And then we go from there. Because it feels like they're hoping Starfighter is a huge hit and the start of something brand new for them. Even though they keep saying it's a standalone film, it's like there's no way it's a standalone film. What do y'all think? Do you think that's just their way of saying don't expect a sequel, or do you think they are planning for more of these films?
There's just so many moving parts because we all know Bob Iger's leaving, Josh D'Amaro's taking over. Iger was the one that hit the mandate of we need to do more films. We need to make film money. We've already plateaued on the streaming platform. The only place to make serious margin and profits is the theater. So they got to release more theater stuff. I think they're going to continue with live action Star Wars, maybe once every year, like one show a year, maybe one show every 2 years. I think the animation is going to pick up. I think that's going to be Filoni's like bread and butter, which I wish we would have more live action stuff. But yeah, there's just so many moving parts. It's kind of hard to read the tea leaves here currently because you have that variable of what's the Mandalorian Grogu going to do. And I don't think they've put out the projections yet for this film. No. It's going to come out Memorial Day weekend. Should be a huge, huge weekend for families to go and watch movies. I don't know. What's the competition?
That weekend? Well, I mean, there shouldn't be too much because I think the industry does know the power of Grogu. And you know what I mean? That they would be like, let's not even try to release anything near that. When is Spielberg's film coming out?
Disclosure Day?
Yeah, is it the summer or is it like around that time as well? Because I can see that one being, I mean, I hate to say this, but even Spielberg's name is no longer what it was, you know what I mean, back in the 80s and 90s. So I don't even think that's even up for competition. Sorry if y'all hear all that banging sound. That's David typing on his computer right now.
June 12th.
Okay, so plenty of time
right after.
Yeah.
And depending on whether or not the government says, well, yeah, aliens do exist, I mean, it might be a bigger movie than what you think.
What if this is just a huge marketing push by Steven Spielberg? That's funny. But what was it last year? Never mind. I'm not going to talk about that. Anyway, but no, like I was saying, Spielberg's name isn't even what it was before. So like that movie probably wouldn't be that good.
I mentioned in chat I might meet him, and I got no reaction from you, James. I was like, okay.
I've been so busy, but that's crazy. If you do meet him, I'll fly down to Texas if you have a chance to meet him
and shake your hand.
I want to
shake your hand.
I'll be freaking out. Tiger Lily has a great thing to say here, which is The Devil Wears Prada comes out May 1st.
That's far away.
That might be a nice movie to watch. I'm just kidding. I did enjoy the first one, but so yeah, I think it's gonna have its own weekend. It's gonna be okay. There's hardly any competition. The only competition is going to be itself, really, as if Disney is going to let everyone know about this movie. I mean, I'm driving through. Mind you, it is Oscar season right now, so I'm driving through, Hollywood and down Beverly, and there's nothing up for Mando and Grogu. It's all just the Oscar push right now. It's all the Oscar campaigns are going on right now. So I'm hoping after the Oscars, I start to see Mandalorian and Grogu everywhere on all the billboards, all the buses, and everything. Because right now there's nothing going on in Hollywood right now for Mando and Grogu. And
yeah, if I was the president or the CEO, I think Craig's on mute right now, but
you're on mute, Craig.
Sorry, guys, I have to head off.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Sorry, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'll see you guys soon.
Yep.
All right.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye, Greg. Go ahead and just remove. There we go. Are we talking about movies? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, if I was running the whole marketing thing, yeah, I mean, all the stuff. I mean, I would have the toys out for all these characters we saw in all these trailers.
Yeah, have all the toys out now.
Yeah, and us like wonder, okay, well, what is this character? What is this like rat snake dude that we saw in the rocking chair? What is he? We just see the name and nothing else on the card back, and okay, like, what is he? Is he good? Is he bad? I don't know what you think, James, but
no, I agree with you 100%. I always loved that about Star Wars, like back in the day, whenever you would get a toy and on the back, it would give you a history, and this was the first time you even heard about it. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, this character is this and this. And I don't know, you get excited for it and you get excited for what's going to be in the movie. It feels like they're not going to do that. And it's really strange. And for me, I would have billboards with Grogu's face on there, just standing there. It just have Mandalorian Grogu May 22nd. Like I would just have, this is the way everywhere right now, all over the place, all over TikTok, all over Instagram, YouTube, all over, billboards and everything here in Hollywood, just getting everybody excited for this movie because we're hoping it looks great. It does look great. We did say, I know you and Mary talked about it, and I know we talked about it in our group chat, but it does look like a really great movie, and it feels like Star Wars. And I just hope Disney pushes it and it does receive. Weird to say, I hope it receives a lot of money because I want to see more of these movies coming out.
Yeah,
but
for sure. I would do a big marketing blitz. The first movie to come out in 7 years. I mean, come on. Come on. We should be going to Taco Bell right now and getting the Grogu mugs that have gyroscopes in them that float around and have a frog in the center and all that stuff.
Yeah, I want to go and get the blocks where you go multiple times, you get more blocks and you put them on top of each other, and there's like different words and different characters on there and the logos on there. I mean, that was really cool whenever the special editions came out back in the day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Speaking of that, great segue, James, because
you're welcome.
An estate sale happened, and up in that estate sale was this.
Oh my god!
So Taco Bell had in 1997 a big push for this huge giveaway. There's like 4 or 5 different like great giveaways, and this is one of them. And a life-size 1/1 scale Han Solo in carbonite, and a guy just went to an estate sale and they had it there for sale. He bought it and he's like, yeah, I got it from the Taco Bell giveaway, and he knows it's from the Taco Bell giveaway because the family had the paperwork that they gave to him. So he's got the paperwork, he's got this. It looks like it's in great condition. So he kind of like made away with just an incredible grail of Star Wars collectibles, I would say.
That's incredible, man. That's pretty cool, man. That was a time right there. 97, 98, 99. That was a hell of a time.
Don't you wish you could go like you would kind of like channel back into your brain and tell yourself you need to buy all these collectibles because you're not going to be able to find them in a few decades anywhere.
It's really weird because I knew people who had some of the Star Wars things, and I never thought to ask my mom and dad, hey, can we go to Taco Bell to go get these toys, to get the Boba Fett on the Sarlacc, thing, and all these cool toys that for some odd reason I was just like, yeah, it'll be there, having unbeknownst to me, you know what I mean? And then to go back again for the big episode 1 push for all that stuff was just, insane. To this day, we still talk about it, insane. We need that for this.
We need that episode 1 marketing energy for the Mandalorian.
Yeah, for Mandalorian and Grogu. We're gonna get an opening crawl for this movie. You know what I mean? And I know we keep saying this, and this is true, right? We are gonna get that opening crawl for this film, right? Are we kind of hoping? I know Kathleen Kennedy did say, these will have the opening crawl. So I'm like hoping that for that moment, that a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Star Wars, and it's just going to say the Mandalorian and Grogu, and we're going to get the opening. Like, that is what I am just dying to see. Tiger Lily, Princess Diana Beanie Baby, always get the toys. There was a Princess Diana Beanie Baby?
Yeah, it was like people were like fist fighting outside.
I could imagine if any Beanie Baby would fight for it, that would be the one to kind of,
there was that like really popular story online where a couple gets divorced and they show a picture and they took like a big like crate of Beanie Babies they own and dumped them on the floor, and the man and the woman are like figuring out who gets what Beanie Baby in the divorce.
And that went nowhere. You know what I mean? Like the Beanie Baby. Like,
I think it'll come back around, just like everything. Like cards have come back around.
I don't know, man. People thought
what
that
else
was
come back around.
The biggest thing ever was those Beanie Babies, and nope. Hold on, we got Matt. Thank you for joining us. Hey guys, can't say watch, but can't wait for the episode on Apple Podcasts. Oh, thanks, Matt, for jumping in and saying hello. But yeah, I know that listeners, I know it sounds like we're just complaining, but the reason is we really want this to be a big movie. We want this to be a big movie event. And because we love Star Wars, and we're going to be there day 1 to watch it. We may even watch it early for all we know. We may be able to get in and see it a couple of days early. But
I might be with James in LA trying to get onto a red carpet.
You are complaining. Yeah, but I'm justifying why we are complaining. Okay. See, you jumped to that conclusion. All right. I know we're complaining, but it's because we want it to be good. We want it to be a big movie. We want it to be a big event. We want to see more of these movies. I want to see more adventures of Mando and Grogu. You know what I mean? And what's crazy to think is that there's going to be a moment where Mando's character is going to die. And then we're going to... Grogu's character is going to have to keep going, and we're going to this character can go for years and years and years. He's 800. He could be up to 900 years old.
Yeah. For some reason, there's a lot of talk online that Din Djarin's going to die at the end of this film. And it's like, well, hey guys, there's a Mandalorian season 4 already written. Is it only going to be about Grogu and no Din Djarin? Is that what you're thinking? I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but one of these days that character is going to die. Like
he talks about it in the narration of the trailer.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm not always going to be here for him. Because Pedro Pascal always dies in everything he does. That is true. That is weirdly true. He does kind of die in almost everything he's
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Game of
Thrones.
What else?
Can you imagine that he did Game of Thrones, and that just took off, man. Like, he was already an actor, but that one part, man, just everywhere. Good for him. He's had a pretty good
everywhere.
But yeah, see, that's why we were complaining. But I guess I just want this to be a big movie. I want it to be a big event. I want to be able to go and tell all my friends, like, oh my gosh, you got to go watch this movie. And I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a good movie. And my prediction, like I've said before, the sequence we watched in Japan is the opening sequence of the movie. I think that is how the movie's going to open. Just wait.
That'd be cool. Yeah. And I think a lot of our viewers and listeners have seen that sequence from Celebration in 360i or whatever got communicated across from the Pacific Ocean from Japan where we're at. But yeah, to watch that thing live, I was like, oh my gosh, there's gonna be just nonstop action. And that's
Yeah.
what it feels like when you watch all the two trailers. You see different scenes, and it's like action beat, action beat, action
Mhm.
beat. It's very fast, very intense, which we love. It's classic Star Wars. How long is this movie going to be? You don't think it's going to be longer than a standard Star Wars movie
Mhm.
length, do you?
I think we're gonna get a 2 hour and 15, 2 hour and 2.5 hour movie, if anything. By the way, Star Wars movies are not long. Just want to throw that out there again. Star Wars movies are not that long. There's just
Everyone
weird-
that James encounters says Star Wars is so long. They
Yeah,
don't
it's
have time to watch it.
It's so strange when I hear that. But yeah, I think it's gonna be just a standard Star Wars 2 hour 15, 2 hour 30-minute movie. And yeah, you're right. It does. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of things going on. What always gets me though is at the end of the trailer when you see Grogu getting that thing that shoots him off really fast. It's like that's not his. That was
The
some
new
random
That was
some
baby
random-
baby Greedo.
baby Greedos. That was our next one. And it's
He
like
time traveled.
who built this baby carriage
Pram.
to
Yeah.
shoot 70 miles down this, you know what I mean? Like 70 miles per hour down this, you know
I'll
what I
tell
mean?
you who built it.
Who built it?
Favreau and Filoni built that thing.
It makes no sense. When I first saw the trailer, I think I missed that. That's what I thought that was his, and like he jumped in it, and Mando and him had worked on it. That's got to be his way of flying. But watching the trailer again, I was like, wait, that's just a random baby's crib that he jumped in and was like, oh yeah, this thing goes 100 miles an hour for no reason at all. And
What's the most nonsensical thing in Star Wars, James?
sound in space. Not,
I was gonna say the Wookiee has no pants.
the Wookiee has no pants, or the fact that Mark Hamill's hair didn't have any water in it after the trash compactor scene.
He dried it.
No, I know.
I mean,
but
look at Chewbacca. He was pretty fluffy.
that Harrison Ford. Look, kid, this ain't that kind of movie. If they're looking at your hair, we are in big trouble. I love that story. On
Sound in
YouTube,
space is diabolical, James. I'm sorry.
you're welcome. No, what was it? Screws and what else in space?
Screws and bricks.
Screws and bricks should never be in Star Wars. Still don't understand how Grogu does all this stuff and doesn't know how to speak. He is over 50. We don't know if that species takes that long to, who knows? Maybe he starts to speak when he's 100. We don't know.
That was Zach's entry for the most nonsensical things.
The answer is always the Force. Yes, the Force is the answer to everything. I'm reading this book right now called the Last Kings of Hollywood about Spielberg, Coppola, and Lucas during the 60s and 70s, and it's incredible. It's an incredible read. The one thing I'm learning is after they saw the movie for the first time, De Palma, of course, we know, did not like it. He kept saying
No one liked it, right? Except for
no one
Spielberg.
liked it. But no. But he was like just laying into Lucas, and like Marsha had to pull De Palma aside, be like, "Hey, dude, you need to you're really hurting his feelings." But
Oh
he
my
kept,
gosh.
he kept saying things like the Force, like that's all you're gonna call it. This mystical thing is just called the Force. The Force. And they said that whole dinner he just kept like making fun of the fact that it was only called the Force. He goes, the Force of what? The Force of who? Why the Force? Like just really giving it to Lucas, and Lucas is like,
it's perfect, dude.
and right. And then of course that's where the story came from, where he said, "I don't understand what's happening. You need to tell people what's happening. If you're making this like Flash Gordon, you need to tell people before the movie starts what you're seeing." And that was why they wrote the opening crawl, because the opening
what
crawl.
has Brian De Palma done?
I mean, he did Carrie. He did what he was pretty.
I mean, he did
pretty-
Scarface, okay, yeah, but
Which
after
I
that,
hate.
what is he famous
hate
for?
that movie. He did do the first Mission Impossible, which is still a pretty good movie.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I love that movie. Actually,
That is a great film, and thanks to that film, John Knoll had the technology to do the pod racing because he had done the speed train sequence at the end of.
I like that
So
sequence.
he said, we using some of that same technology, we were able to then move that to the pod racing because I'd already done it in Mission Impossible. And I watched that movie not too long ago. That sequence still holds up. Like that sequence is still pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So De Palma, he's got some skills. But yeah,
He
apparently
also wrote The Crawl, right?
Yep, he helped write the crawl for the opening of A New Hope. Only because I think Marshall Lucas was like, okay, if you're gonna criticize him, help him. Like, what do you think needs to be done? And he said, okay, I know I've been busting your balls all night, but here's what I think you should do. Oh, and I always thought Scorsese was there. Scorsese was not there, and apparently
literal New York doing New York.
He was shooting New York, but also that there was a problem with the plane. He didn't want to chance it, but then some people thought he didn't want to not like it and not have to tell George Lucas this is not good because he kept hearing from people like Lucas, I don't know what he's doing. He's over here making this kids movie in London, and yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a legendary story now, like where Lucas got all of his filmmaking buddies, all the directors that we all know, they're all super famous now, into a theater, showed a rough cut. They were like no effects or anything. And Spielberg famously comes out of that saying it's great, it's the greatest thing he's ever seen or whatever, and all the other people said this is garbage, trash, this is for kids, what are you doing? What do you think if you would have saw it, if you could have like a brain wipe, all your Star Wars info in your brain is deleted, you see that rough cut, do you think you would have thought like Spielberg, or you would have thought like the other directors, like it was just awful?
I do this thing with my buddy Ryan whenever he shows me, like when we edit something or he shows me a rough cut of something, I always say it's a good start, and he hates it when I say that. But the other reason I say that is because it's not great, but it can only get better from here. There's no way it can get worse than what we have here. And I have a feeling if Lucas was my friend, that's what I probably would have told him. Like, it's a good start. I know you're still working on it, but just so you know, you know what I mean? But at the same time, yeah, I would have been so confused. I'd be like, I don't understand who any of these people are. Like, this doesn't make So imagine watching A New Hope without that opening crawl, and you just jump into it. You're like, who? What the plans? What plans is he talking? Yeah.
But the screening was before Marsha Lucas did her editing, though, as well.
Yeah,
because we really need to talk about Marsha Lucas here. She actually just did an interview, and there's like something on Tubi or something where she talks to someone, or YouTube or somewhere on Facebook or something. I think they interview her, Anthony Daniels, and Billy D. Williams. I think their heads are on the cover of the thing. And Marsha Lucas, she does talk about several things, but we do know from past stuff that we've listened to and read that she was the one that came up with the whole fact that there was like a countdown with the Death Star, and you saw that graphic of it moving. We know that. We know that she made it. She's essentially edited to it being actually more action oriented and made it faster and more intense, like Lucas would say on set, but he just couldn't get the editing down. And I think having that extra person there, which was his wife at the time, make those changes, and for her to see it from her point of view, she was able to make the movie a whole lot better than what it was. So Spielberg kind of seeing it, and of course we know Spielberg is Spielberg, he sees things in a whole different light than we do, and he has the filmmaking brain, and he probably saw what it could be. And then Marsha Lucas was the one that just fine-tuned that thing to probably the greatest film of all time. You would have to argue.
The editing in that movie is insane, and like you said before, when they first got the cut, it was literally just the space battle at the very end, literally just Luke, the pilots, the trench run, nothing. And then she had the idea of cutting back and forth with Leia there. She said, we need to show the difference here. And I think originally it was just they showed them there before the thing, and then we just cut to space, and then we're just in space for the rest of the movie. We never cut back. So it was her idea to make those two things go together at the same time.
Yeah, build the tension.
Yes, and it's one of those things that you're like, how did no one figure? Like, no one was like, And then she actually left towards like the end of '76. Her and Richard Chew left. Richard Chew went to go work on something else. She went to go edit New York, New York. And Paul Hirsch ended up finishing the rest of the movie for George Lucas. And George Lucas famously
Lucas wanted Obi-Wan Kenobi at the table, and he wasn't dead. I think it was Marshall Lucas's idea to kill him in the middle of the movie.
I think so too. Yeah,
so because that was another great input that she had.
And he had to tell Alec Guinness, "Oh, by the way, you're gonna die. I'm actually gonna kill you in this movie." And because I think when he got the script in the original script, Obi-Wan Kenobi lives through the whole thing, and just that story beat changed everything. And it's fascinating to know what that movie almost was, and to know what it became, and the fact that we're still talking about it right now on a podcast.
50 years later, James.
50 years later, and what's funny is the crew in London thought they were just shooting another Doctor Who episode. They were just like, this is just a kids movie, right? Like, why are we like, who cares?
Yeah,
how much detail we're putting into this thing. Zach said, "What do y'all think about Scorsese having up Marvel, but is okay with Star Wars?" I think that's just hilarious. When I heard Scorsese's voice, I was like, "No way, he did it." That's pretty great.
I didn't quickly identify his voice like everyone else did.
I'm weird. I just I
have an ear for voices too, but I didn't automatically think, "Oh, Martin Scorsese." that didn't like hit my ears like some people's.
There's a really great documentary on Apple TV, if you haven't seen it yet, about Martin Scorsese, and it's pretty great. Then again, it's not like Star Wars. He didn't like it. He liked George Lucas, much like Alan Ladd Jr. He liked George Lucas because of American Graffiti. He was like, this guy knows what he's doing. But he wasn't too fond of the movie. But then afterward, he was like, oh, okay, this is actually pretty, which is why he came back, for the Empire and Return of the Jedi.
And Mark Hamill tells a story where he asked him on set, why did you decide to do this? And Mark Hamill said that Alec Guinness said that he liked the idea of being like a mentor figure.
Yep.
And I want to say, man, I think George Lucas pitched it to where he was like, okay, this guy is like Gandalf the Grey.
Yeah.
I think that kind of helped it along. It maybe was like the thing, like, okay, I understand what the character is. Yeah, I can do it.
And Lucas was a big fan of Lord of the Rings, and there's even some drafts of Star Wars where they were almost like hobbits, like he did kind of do, which is why when he does Willow a couple of years later, he makes the main character. You know what I mean? So that was why, because he loved Lord of the Rings. And so, yeah, I can totally see that was, I think you're onto something there, that he did tell him, you're like Gandalf and you're the wise wizard of this story.
He's like, George, I do not understand this role. You're basically Gandalf. Okay.
Oh, okay, perfect. And of course, the famously,
I don't want the 50,000. I want 3 points on the back end,
which was good for him. He did make quite a bit of money on Star Wars. Here's a fun fact: Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Apocalypse Now, and Star Wars were all being shot at the same time. That I don't think a lot of people.
Only 2 of those are based on a true story.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Okay. Oh, that's the one. Okay, I was a little confused there. But Lucas was like Apocalypse Now was like George Lucas's movie. Like that was his movie to make. A lot of people I don't think realize that, but that was like he was like, I am going to make this Vietnam movie. And then even Zach did the same thing. Star Wars and what? Which one? Which ones are based on true stories?
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
They already announced aliens are real, right? So
exactly. But Francis Ford Coppola kind of took that away from him, and Lucas was a little mad that he did do that, but you know, he was doing Star Wars, so it was one of those things where it's like there was no way he was ever gonna get to do it. He just didn't like the way Coppola went about taking that movie from him.
I will say this about Francis Ford Coppola. He makes a whole lot of sense to me at this point in time.
Uh-oh.
And I saw his film. What was it called? Megalopolis, yeah, with Adam Driver.
Yeah.
It made a whole lot of sense to me. And I liked it. And a lot of people said they didn't like it. And it wasn't for... it just got bad buzz to begin with. It was like DOA. And he lost a lot of money making that film. And he's had to sell like a bunch of like vintage wine and vintage watches. And who else know? Like what else he sold. But he is getting up there in age. But he went for it. And I think that's great that he did that.
It's pretty amazing that they all knew each other. Coppola, Lucas, Spielberg, and Scorsese, De Palma. Like they all, these names that we all know now. It's like these guys were just making movies and they hated Hollywood. You know what I mean? They were like, we don't want anything to do with Hollywood. Spielberg, unfortunately, was in the system, which is why he wasn't like a part of American Zoetrope the way the other two were. And yeah, that's a fun story where he was like, I want to join y'all. And they were like, but you're like Universal, dude. You know, like you're in Hollywood.
Part of the guilds, man.
And he was like, yeah, but you know, I want to make these things. And they were like, but you can't, you know? And he was like, yeah, you're right. I can't join y'all. I'm sorry. And so
that's an office on the Universal lot. You mean the janitor closet?
You snuck onto Universal and made this thing. And yeah, he was given a 7-year contract or a 7 project contract with Universal, and that's why.
And speaking of Spielberg, he's going to be here in about a month. I might get to ask him a question or two on the red carpet.
What question are you going to ask him?
I'm going to ask him how comfortable was that janitor broom closet that he had on the.
That's kind of crazy to ask him. Do not ask him that question. That's terrible.
Oh, what question should I ask him?
We both received a text message. That's funny. What questions did you ask him? I don't know.
What kind of Star Wars movie would you make?
That's a good question.
If he's not going to make a Star Wars film, it's a valid question to ask him, and he should answer the question because he's never going to make one. So what does it matter?
That's a pretty solid question. Or if he and George Lucas ever even talked about Return of the Jedi, like was that never even a discussion because of the guild situation with Lucas?
Oh, I'm pretty sure they talk because they're actual friends and they probably talked about it. I mean, I think for Spielberg, I mean, all of his friends and stuff, I think they all asked him his advice on everything, you know? And it's like these people that don't get credit on films when they've actually worked on films, like Carrie Fisher for ghostwriting. She didn't get credit for a bunch of stuff that she helped with, and we later find out that she helped with all this other stuff, and she is not associated to it. But I mean, yeah, it's such high stakes. You're going to ask the people that you trust. And I think they pretty much all kind of trust Spielberg and his filmmaking. He's had such great filmmaking.
But his name doesn't do what it used to do. You know what I mean? Steven Spielberg's name is not what it was when we were, the 80s and 90s.
That is interesting.
Like, a couple of years ago, more than a couple of years ago, when Lucas had Red Tails and Spielberg had Lincoln, he said it was difficult. Both of them said it was difficult to get these movies greenlit. Yeah. And Spielberg said everything is moving. The industry is changing to more mainstream stories, and the studios don't want to do anything original anymore. And they didn't want to do any risk. And he goes, and the article was like, Lucas and Spielberg were having trouble getting their stuff greenlit, which is kind of crazy. I'm glad Lincoln came out. I love that movie.
That's his last big hit, right?
Unfortunately, because Bridge of Spies didn't do as well.
Did all right.
Great. Oh, it did win Mark Rylance the Oscar. Right. Great movie. Fantastic movie. Ready Player One didn't do that well. even though I love that
Yeah.
movie.
I love that movie too.
Such a great. You gave me that poster that I have on my wall right there. I love that.
And there's
poster.
a Ready Player 2 novel already written.
It's been out, man. It wasn't that great, unfortunately. I did read it. I didn't like it that much. But yeah, we'll see how this one goes. It looks promising. It looks, exciting. So hopefully Spielberg can deliver. Anyways, back to Deadpool. I'm just joking. How are they going to explain the Razor Crest, do you think? And Mando and Grogu?
Oh, he just bought a new one.
I like that.
Yeah. It's not as hard as you would think. Some of these questions. Yeah, he just bought a new one with some of his bounties that he's been saving up.
I like that he didn't name it. It's just called the Razor Crest.
Yeah.
Like that's the style of ship. And I always thought he named it that. And I was like, that's such a cool Star Wars name. But I think that's
Let me
just
ask you a question that's going to
Yeah,
make me look like a non-Star Wars fan, maybe, to some people.
Oh, boy.
Did we see a Razor Crest before the Mandalorian series in 2019?
No.
But they keep on referencing the fact that this Razor Crest was it was there in the past history of Star Wars before the Empire, but we never saw it, right?
No.
So they just made it up for the Mandalorian.
They made it up for Mando.
Okay.
Yeah. And they threw it in the Rise of Skywalker. It's there in the Battle of Exegol. Or there is a Razor Crest there. We don't know whose it is. And I don't know. It's interesting when Star Wars does that, where they just bring in a character that's just like, oh, hey, this character's been here since the beginning. And you just go, okay, cool. And then, oh, I was like, what is she talking about? That makes more sense now. But when we're
all red.
When we're in Texas, Mary, I'm going to buy you a Big Red so you can.
Okay, so there's actually something that Big Red has created that is very tasty.
Big Blue?
No, that's not that tasty. It's weird to drink a blue Big Red, but
it is weird.
They have Big Red slushies now.
I can get behind.
Oh my god!
I'm 100% behind that decision. Whoever in Big Red was like, you know what, guys, that's a good decision.
I will like brain freeze my entire head, esophagus, and stomach over that. It is painful. That's okay.
Where is it? Where is it? Sonic?
You can get them at QT, the gas station.
Okay.
But I mean, I think at one point Buc-ee's had them, but they got rid of them for some crazy reason. I don't know. That's the one mistake Buc-ee's has made.
That's the only mistake Buc-ee's has ever made. Every other decision.
Well, I do know of another mistake I can tell you off camera. I don't want to say it on camera.
Did they get rid of the bathrooms there or what?
No.
Yeah, they better. Yeah. You better have a backpack of Big Flaming Hot Cheetos to prevent. You got it. I will have a whole. I will go to Costco and get that. But anyways, that's funny. Anyways, yeah, just go watch Mando and Grogu when it comes out, and let's hope we get more and more, information.
Any idea what the amount of views the official trailer has right now?
It didn't do that well. And like I said, even after the trailer came out, I told people about it, and they were like, "Oh, it's a movie," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, people have no idea it's even a movie." I heard it wasn't that great. It did not break records like Force Awakens, Chewie We're Home trailer did. That one, I think, crashed the internet. Or which one crashed the internet? One of them did.
Yeah. So how many views do you think it has?
I didn't mean to look at the camera. Like 2 million.
It has 10 million views.
Oh, it has more than I thought. Okay.
It's been out for 5 days, has 10 million views. The teaser trailer only has 12 million views 5 months ago.
I heard He-Man got more views.
He-Man?
I thought he was
big history with He-Man.
I don't know anything about
kid. Well, hold up. Is that the official trailer? Because I
Starring
don't see
Jared
millions
Leto.
of views here.
I don't think the trailer's out yet. I just know Jared Leto's playing Skeletor.
Are you serious? The trailer's been out, James.
Oh, I have no. I don't keep up with any of that. I saw this thing where it was like movie executives in Hollywood right now, and you see this guy walking into this room, and he goes like this, Jared Leto, and they're like, yes, and he's like, in everything, put him in anything and everything, and it's so funny, like Star Wars, Marvel, Jurassic Park, put Jared Leto in it.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That's 37 million views.
When did it come out though?
1 month ago.
Okay, it's gonna get a head start. All right.
I mean, it's kind of like you hear you want to do Thor live action. How are you going to do that? You know, and
that works.
Marvel pulled it off. It's kind of like Thor. He-Man is like the Lord of the Rings and Star Wars combined. That's what it is. But it's very, very kind of like I don't know what the words are to say it, but they wanted the company that created He-Man created action figures first, and then did the cartoon afterwards. They had no idea what they were talking about or what they were doing.
Is like
they just wanted to make money,
right? Weren't they toys first, and then they went to a cartoon, a very successful cartoon.
Yeah, very, very successful. I had a He-Man Christmas where I got Castle Grayskull and a lot of the action figures, and I got
this was last year, right?
Or the sword. Or... Last year?
Was this last year?
This was like 1983, James.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about
maybe
last
1986. Year. Maybe it was 86.
Yes, Zach. I never got into He-Man, and I am 22 years old, so that's why I never grew up with it. Yeah.
See, I can still like one of my best memories was coming home from school, turning on TBS, watching He-Man. That would end, and at 5 o'clock they would show the TV show Chips. And once I saw that and heard the theme song, I knew my dad and my brother were coming home from work.
That's hardcore, dude.
Yeah, and I would lay down flat on my back, and we had like one of those waffle big screens. That just like died off quickly.
Yeah,
it was horrible, and it didn't work. And we still had it in the living room for years.
That's incredible.
Until we replaced it with a 1080i DLP projected TV.
Beautiful.
Back in the year 2000. Yeah.
Hey, I remember our first HD TV. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best. There's nothing's ever going to top this TV.
I'm never going to leave my room.
Yep. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something, but interesting enough, all these toys, He-Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, all came from the success of Star Wars. Like Star Wars toys started everything. The reason toys exist to this day was because of Star Wars, and I think a lot of people
like George Lucas is crazily rich is because of the toys, right?
And that's crazy. Yeah, reading in that book, and of course that whole thing in the clause, he was like, "Oh, what about this part?" And Fox was like, nobody does sequels. Like nobody does sequels. You're not going to make any money off of this thing. So here, he can have all that, and that's how they had no idea.
While they were laughing behind his back.
Yeah, they're like sure. You can get the merchandise and the sequel rights. It's fine. Like we're even gonna make any money off of this movie. And then, so yeah, that's the craziest part. Anytime you bought anything that said Star Wars on there, it went to George Lucas. It didn't go to a corporation. He was the corporation. So that's disgusting. What? Hey, don't tell my age on the podcast. That's not nice. No, I'm not 58, by the way. Almost.
Anyway, 58.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Zach says next you will say you don't know the Snorks. Do you remember the Snorks?
No.
I do. They were on the USA channel. They were like these underwater creatures that had like a scuba thing, like a
Are you
pipe
making
coming out of
this
their
up?
head.
Are you making this up
They
right
made
now?
like a 90-degree angle.
That is ridiculous. Poor
And Zach says the gummy bears. I think he's talking about the Care Bears.
I was gonna say, I know gummy bears. I mean, they go to the store and buy them.
And
you know, or
Mask. Mask was
What was it?
pretty cool. It was like a group of like humans that drove like big trucks, but they would have these masks put on them, and it was more like a helmet than a mask.
I think
And it
I
was
saw.
almost, yeah, it's kind of like, yeah.
I grew up with the Power Rangers
Oh my
and
gosh.
what else did I grew up with? A lot of Star Wars and a lot of Batman. That was my thing. Was just Star Wars and Batman and some Power Rangers thrown in there.
Yeah, it was Garfield, Heathcliff, Spectre Gadget, Teenage
RoboCop.
Mutant Ninja Turtles, Cops. Do you
The
remember that
show? Of course, everybody
There's a
knows
show
that
called
show.
Cops. It was almost like a Marvel DC type thing. It was cops with kind of like superpowers and like a
Oh, never mind. I
gallery.
don't know this. I thought you were talking about the show Cops from like the,
And
the
it aired
90s
on
and
WGN, and yeah, it was very fascinating. If you go look up the intro, let's watch it right now. Actually,
Dude, no, come on. We gotta wrap this thing up. We'll
yeah,
nerd
wrap
out
up
about
with this.
later. No,
I'll bring it up here. I'll play it.
you gotta show your buffet that
Cops.
you randomly uploaded to the
Cartoon.
stream.
Okay, I found it.
Oh boy. On that note, everybody, we're gonna be ending the podcast after this. So let's see. I don't know what I'm
Oh
about
man,
to
this is awesome. I haven't seen it in a little bit, but yeah, I'll bring it up here.
I can't believe we're doing this right
Why not? Let me put it in the right mode here. And
now. If you're watching us on YouTube,
Hear it.
you're gonna get a treat here, apparently.
yeah, you'll hear it. All right, here we go. Hopefully there's nothing bad.
Cops, Central Organization of Police Specialists. Fighting crime in a future time. Protecting Empire City from Big Boss and his gang of crooks. It's crime fighting time.
Oh my gosh.
This is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I guess if you're like a 5-year-old kid going, "Oh my
Well, 'cause
god!"
I was like a 5-year-old kid.
Jeez.
I mean, there's like a blend of like Marvel, DC a little bit. And it was kind of like a riff on that with like the villains and like the cops had like special abilities, and it was pretty good. It's pretty good for a kid, yeah. And they actually made the action figures, but I don't think they were that popular. But I remember watching that show right after I experienced Star Wars.
You brought it back. I appreciate that. I appreciate you bringing it back. Thank y'all very much for listening. Check us out on Instagram. If David throws the thing up on the screen, I can read what the screen is. Quickly, you know what I mean? People are watching. Okay. Mary just dropped something right now. Hold on. Find a clip of Bobby's World. Man, I watched a lot of Bobby's World.
I didn't care for Bobby's World. When that
Bobby's
came
World
out,
was
I was
great.
like, this is Howie Mandel.
It was fantastic. I watched that one a lot too. But yeah, check us out on Instagram at Star Wars Stuff Pod, on Twitter, formerly or X, formerly known as Twitter, at Stuff Pod. Check us out on Facebook, or I'm just kidding, Blue Sky at Star Wars Stuff.bluesky.social. Check us out on Thread, Star Wars Stuff Pod. Also, look us up on Patreon if you want to support us at Star Wars Stuff Podcast 2187. Become a Patreon member. We'll see a lot of fun things. If you want to email us at starwarsstuffpodcast@gmail.com, please feel free to do so. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star rating and a review, please. It helps us out with our rankings. And check us out on Facebook. We have a Facebook group and a Facebook page, Star Wars Stuff Podcast. And yes, thank you all so much for time out. We do have a website, starwarstuffpodcast.com, if you want to check that out on our website. But yes, thank you all so much for listening. We'll be back again with another awesome topic. And whatever you do, don't put logic into Star Wars. Just want to throw that out there. If you're watching us on YouTube, you know why I said that. But anyways, on behalf of David, I'm James, and may the Force be with you.
Always.